Hello, beautiful people. Today I'm going to speak about why I think Harry married Meghan Markle. I'm going to try and make it short. I am trying to put my thoughts together. No, I'm not a famous YouTuber. I'm just, giving my opinions here. Please be aware of that. Again, I repeat, I am not an expert. I just follow the news and you see the actions of the people. I have worked for the government and I do know how they operate with diplomats and stuff like that. But anyways, I just wanted to, before I start with that, I just wanted to mention something because there are many things that have been caught my attention. For example, the fact that $3 million are missing that they got because Disney has says that they did give the money to Harry for charity uses, and yet nobody has claimed that money. I have called the commission. They said that they're still waiting for paperwork from one of the people involved. I assume that would be Harry and his organization, whatever you want to call it. The thing with accounting is that it does leave a trail. Even if you put back the money, it doesn't erase from the fact that you took it. But anyways, this is just what I said, that they're still waiting for paperwork from one of the parties involved. At least that is something, before they were not telling me anything. Second is nobody is calling them out on that. And I was very surprised how good Harry and Meghan Markle are at sophistry. Sophistry is when you use a false argument to trick people or to deviate the conversation from either a behavior, an action, or a lie. For example, when I made a comment about Meghan Markle back in 2018, and I said, oh, this girl, she's going to hurry that marriage, and because, she's going to be found out. She doesn't know how quickly this is going to go away. So she's going to make the most of it. And I was called a racist, even though I hadn't said anything racist about her. People used something else, a different argument in regards to my comment, which it turned out to be true, because Meghan Markle behaves like a criminal. In what way? When you're going to steal in a bank, or thieves that steal in a bank, they come and go quickly before they get caught. Of course, nobody wants to get caught. My view at the time was that I thought Meghan Markle was going to push for the marriage to be sooner rather than later, because there was a lot of shit. I could see it. And yet the public, even with all the evidence, chose not to look at it and attacked anybody who pointed it out. To this day, she's still being called a Hollywood star. I don't know why. When the cable show that she was a supporting actress was coming to an end, she didn't run to Hollywood to get a deal because she knew that nobody would hire her. She was a middle age, on the older side for Hollywood, with nothing to her belt. She ran to the UK. Somebody who's in high demand does not go to the UK to see if they can start in a reality show. You know what I mean? It's because she had nothing going for her. And yet the press and the public were attacking anybody who said otherwise. So, and they were using sophistry, which is to use a false argument. Because I wasn't accusing her of being black. I didn't even know she was black. But it was used that way. For example, when I pointed out that Lady Colin Campbell had deceived her husband, I was accused of gay bashing, or that she was born a female. I wasn't talking about that. Again, sophistry. They used something completely, a different argument that had nothing to do with the point I was making, which is deception. It's like, for example, if a woman marries a man being pregnant, and she knows that the kid is not his. That is deception, and it could have an impact whether the guy marries the woman or not. Anyways, Also, I was very surprised when Harry and Meghan Markle blatantly lied and accused the royal family, the press, and the UK public of racism and discrimination. And they did that on purpose. So I started looking it up, of what if there are any criminal penalties for that. You'd be surprised. In the UK, I ran into over 47 cases. And I mean, I got bored of going because there's so many. But there was one that really struck me. There was this judge who condemned a black guy to 12 months in prison, plus 100 hours of community service, and £500 fine, as well as his wife. His wife was also condemned because she was complicit in the behavior, and she knew about it, and she enabled him even more. So this is his ruling. The ruling is, it says, this is what the judge decided why he condemned him. Okay, and it was for 2 parking tickets. One was he was trying to get out of paying 2 parking tickets. So in 2 different occasions, he accused different wardens for being racist. One of the last occasions, he was actually illegally parking in a disabled bay outside of a hospital. So he was caught and he got a ticket, and he accused the people of racism. So this is what the judge said, that when he was sentencing the guy, this was the concerted and determined tactic employed by the guy on 2 occasions and pursued it to the bitter end to make a deliberately false allegation against innocent people. Your motivation was partly self-interest, to get yourself out of a situation where you were clearly wrong, and partly in anger that anyone should have the temerity to challenge you. Sounds familiar? You have deliberately played the race card, knowing it would cause maximum embarrassment to those on the receiving end and would be treated seriously by the authorities. The seriousness of these offenses lies not just in the distress and anxiety felt by the victims who were wrongly accused, but also in the fact it strikes at the root of public justice and undermines people's confidence in the system and to those who have actually suffered from racism. I mean, if that doesn't sum up Harry and Meghan Markle's behavior, I don't know what it does. And these people got off lightly. Some other were actually, depending on what is it that they were using the race card for, they got even more time. So Harry and Meghan, Harry, when people pointed out at him about the money missing from charity and his very shady transactions, he uses sophistry, which is to use a different argument. In this case, he says, "How dare you offend me? I'm so offended that..." No, I mean, people, charities and organizations, they get asked to produce the books, and people have the right to do so. So he used a different argument to get people off his back. In cases like this actually has criminal consequences. Why did Harry marry Meghan? I don't think he would have been able to marry anybody else, to tell you the truth. You had, and it has nothing to do with public image. I don't think that the other 2 girlfriends didn't want to marry him because the press. Why? I mean, Chelsea was with him for, I think, 8 years on and off. The press knew everything about her. Clearly, she wasn't affected by it. And Cressida, that other lovely girl, I mean, she's even an actress. So my view on it is that they didn't want to be part of his craziness. Because I do firmly believe, that Harry has had a chip on his shoulder, and he believes that he should be at William's level or be the same as William, if not even higher. There's no way he would have married anybody who would have been happy to play second fiddle to Prince William, or to be okay just being the second. There's no way, because you see, Harry believes, and even I think there was a comment that he said where when the Duchess of Cambridge got engaged to Prince William, he said that it's too bad it wasn't his younger brother or sister, because he wants to be the older guy. He wants to be the one who is in line to the throne, and he's not. He does have a big chip on his shoulder. So when Meghan comes along, Meghan is a woman who, first of all, because she believes she's hot shit, either because of his parents telling her so, or whatever, she believed the hype, that her parents told her you're special. She did buy it, just like Harry, because you see that the royal family have not done him a favor by telling him that he's not that special. He really is not. He's not that bright. He's not anything. I mean, even his biography, he was a lower junior rank or whatever. Harry, on his own merits, would have never gotten where he is right now if it hadn't been for the royal family, let's face it. And the same goes for Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle slept her way to being a Z-list actress. Yeah, she slept her way to the very bottom. And then when she met Harry, they were both in accordance, because you see, Meghan thinks of her. I mean, you have to give her praise for that, because she does think highly of herself, And so she thinks she's up here. And then Prince Harry met somebody who also said to him, yeah, you are better than William. You are better than anybody. Because that's what he really believes. I really do think that. His actions don't engage in other stuff. It doesn't prove me wrong in other. That's the only thing I can conclude. I'm sorry I'm babbling a little bit. So when these two met, you have Meghan, stroking his ego, and he's offering her a platform to stroke hers, so they both buy their own bullshit, because you see, they vilify anybody who challenges them, and they have used the race card every time anybody has said so. So I do think that Harry, when he met Meghan, he said, you know what, this is a woman and I can get away with a lot because she's biracial. So people will think it twice before saying anything else because of her color. The first thing that they've done is use their race card. They left the UK ungraciously. They are doing things or have gotten away with everything, in spite of the fact that they have slandered an entire nation. They have slandered the government. Meghan Markle is still to this day meddling in politics with no statement from Buckingham Palace, which I find outrageous. Meghan Markle is a woman with no morals, but neither is Harry. Neither is Harry. Now, and I'm going to say this once and for the last time, that Netflix deal, he didn't get millions. And I really think that this deal to produce other shows is just a smoke screen, just like it was that when they said that they were moving to Canada. I really think that what they were signed on for is for Harry to sell his inside story, where he will heavily feature his mother, and also for the story with Meghan when they got married and their diluted perception of why they left. Unfortunately for them, the entire world has seen who they really are, and their stock has fallen down. But, they're not capable of anything. Meghan and Harry do deserve each other. He's not a sweet guy. Buckingham Palace did a great image of cleaning his image up. He's a racist guy. And the problem is that nobody challenges him. Nobody calls him out on his behavior. There are a lot of money. Funds are missing. From what the commission told me, they're waiting for documentation from one of the parties to establish things. And apparently they have to produce it by the end of October. And yet nobody's calling on that. They use misdirection, just like the magic thing. You accuse him or you ask him for something, he acts outraged. So, to deflect things. Sophistry at its best. Anyways, that's just what I think. Those are my views. Mm-hmm.